Every cold email guru, every YouTube video, and every course is telling you the same thing. Personalize your cold emails. Research every single person you're reaching out to. And I'm telling you that advice is going to destroy your cold email results in 2026. I've personally sent millions of cold emails, and I've helped over 50 clients scale their cold email infrastructure so that not only can they reach the right people, but they can actually get them on calls and book deals with them. The campaigns that are crushing it right now, the ones that are getting 20% plus positive reply rates, are essentially anti-personalization. And in this video, I'm going to break down exactly why personalization is killing your cold email campaigns. I'm going to give you the cold email framework that we actually use. I call it the anti-personalization cold email approach. This way, you can send more emails, get more replies, and book more calls instead of wasting your life away researching every individual prospect on LinkedIn. So let me paint a picture of what everyone is telling you to do right now. This is what I would refer to as the old way. This way did work for a certain amount of time. For several years, actually. The more personalized your emails, the better they perform. That's not the case anymore. I want you to look at this slide I put together. If you're spending 5 minutes per email, 5 minutes personalizing the subject line, 5 minutes researching the person, and you're trying to send 100 emails a day, that means you're spending 8 hours of your entire day just on personalization. It's not even spent on emails. It's not spent on follow-ups. It's not spent on anything except trying to personalize these emails. So your entire day is gone before you can actually do high leverage activities. The average cold email reply rate in 2026 is around 3.1%. I would actually argue that's a little bit high, but for example's sake, let's stick with that. That means that 8 hours of personalization alone is yielding approximately 3 emails per every 100 emails sent. That is atrocious. Is that really the best use of your time? It's not for me. I'm guessing it's not for you either. And don't even get me started on AI personalization. You know, everyone says AI can personalize everything. It can make it feel like it's a one-of-one email. All you got to do is scrape some information and have the LLM write the message. I get cold emails every single day, and I can immediately within 1 second tell what is AI personalization, and it pisses me off to the point where I'll typically just block the sender. People don't like AI personalization. It's almost like the uncanny valley effect where you can tell something is not human about this. It doesn't sound real. It's not the way you would talk to a person in real life, and it immediately turns them off. So let's take a look at some examples of what AI personalization looks like. Hey, first name, saw your LinkedIn post about topic. I thought it was really insightful. We help companies like insert company with insert offer. Does that sound familiar to you? That's what all of these emails sound like. And if it's not about a LinkedIn post, it's congratulations on the new role or the new job change. It's so generic and so basic. It is so obvious that this is AI personalization. The reason people reply to cold emails is not because the email is personalized to them. The only reason someone replies is because the context that you reached out with is something that they are interested in. If I really need a new website and someone emails me that they build custom websites for people in my niche and they also share examples and they have good copy, I'm probably going to be interested because that is a need that I have. If someone from a web development agency reaches out to me and says, hey, I love your post about X, Y, and Z. By the way, we build websites for company. It's not going to hit the same. And as a matter of fact, it's going to turn me off because I know that it's fake personalization. Safe to say that when everyone is personalizing, no one can actually stand out because it all just becomes generic and sounds the same yet again. Okay, so I think it's clear AI personalization is not the answer. The question is what is? Because it's 2026, new technology is evolving. How do we actually get in that inbox? But more importantly, how do we get replies? Many of you in this world are probably familiar with Facebook ads. And if you've never ran them, you've probably purchased from them before. The way Facebook ads works really well in 2026 is essentially the anti-personalization framework that I'm telling you to do for cold email. You essentially have a target market that you're going after, but it's not Susie that's an account executive at this company. It is a general group of people that you know are interested in your product or service. The Facebook ads algorithm does a good enough job of finding who you need by just understanding context about what your ad is about, what your business is about, and it essentially handles the rest. And I want you to think about this framework as we think about our cold email strategy in 2026. So you don't have to write a custom ad for every person. You can simply pick a relevant audience, write a relevant offer, and push it to as many people as possible. There's 3 steps you need to take to execute correctly. Step 1, you need to personalize the list, not the email, but the actual list. You want to build tight segments by industry, by hiring signals, whatever you feel like might be relevant for your offer, but your list should be targeted. Step 2 is a relevant offer. So speak to a real specific problem, not we help you grow. Instead, it's we cut outbound costs by 80%. Now, number 3, you have to have volume. Without volume, you have no chance. With volume, you can send thousands, tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of emails. This is the force multiplier that if you have the first 2 steps dialed in, will allow you to scale your business to essentially any numbers that you want. And the only way to hit volume without landing in spam, which is becoming increasingly difficult, is to have your infrastructure set up correctly. Take it from someone that has done this for over 7 years. This is the wall that everyone hits because you have to set up 50 to 100 email accounts. You have to configure the DNS. You have to go through all of the records. You have to warm up the emails. It can take days, but even more importantly, it costs an insane amount of money. So you're making a huge investment and there's a chance it's not even gonna work because you don't set it up and configure it correctly. And that's exactly why MailScale was built. Because if you use MailScale, you can essentially automate the entire process. And I cannot stress to you, this is the most important part of the cold email process. Without this, AKA the foundation, you cannot do the rest. So MailScale lets you click a couple buttons and spin up dozens of perfectly configured, warmed up email accounts. This is probably 50 times faster and at least 5 times cheaper than doing it through Google or Outlook. And when I tell you, I spent tens of thousands of dollars and probably tens of thousands of hours trying to set this up in the past, once I saw MailScale exist, I almost dropped to my knees and started crying. It is the infrastructure setup that makes the anti-personalization approach work. And I'm gonna show you the results this framework gets in a moment. But if you are serious about scaling your outreach, I wanna invite you to see how it works. Click the link below to book a demo with our team. We will show you how to build an infrastructure to send thousands and even tens of thousands of emails in a day in a matter of minutes. Now let me show you what the anti-personalization framework looks like in practice. Step 1, you have to build your segments because your segments will determine your copy and the angles that you're going for in positioning your offer. So you want to personalize the list, not personalize the email. So instead of just going after marketing agencies, go after marketing agencies in the UK with 5 to 20 employees that offer paid ad services. Can you see the distinction between those two? One is so much more focused and will allow you to craft such better messaging as opposed to the more generic version. Yes, the more generic version might pull more leads, but it's going to sound off. Your messaging needs to be on point. Notice I said your messaging needs to be on point, not your personalization. Step 2, I want you to write one killer email. This should be short, relevant, and problem focused. A big mistake people make is sending paragraphs. It should be 1 paragraph, absolute max. Ideally, it's 3-ish sentences. Maybe you could stretch it to 5, maybe you can squeeze it into 2, but it needs to be short and to the point. And number 3, as we talked about, you have to be sending these emails at scale. Volume is the multiplier that will allow you to hit your goals. I'm not talking about 50 emails a day from one inbox. I'm talking about 30 emails a day from 50 inboxes. Once again, this is why infrastructure is so important. Without it, you cannot even execute this at scale. And I'm just gonna say it one more time. If you wanna scale, you need to consider MailScale. You don't need to just take my word for it. I can simply show you the results. So every week, I'm sending tens of thousands of emails from my email sending tool. I'm targeting different segments, just like I explained to you, and I'm essentially just letting it rip. I'm not focused on personalization, and it is working tremendously well to this day in 2026. But I'm not perfect. And to end the year last year, I was really focused on this personalization technique until I realized it didn't work. And I want to show you the stark difference between the structure I'm telling you should do now versus what I was trying to do in the past, AKA what you shouldn't do. So for context, I help businesses add AI into their business. Not necessarily AI automations, more so building custom software with AI as the underlying intelligence layer of the whole system. Before, when I was trying to personalize literally everything, I was sending roughly 80 emails a day. And I was getting 2 to 3 replies, absolute max. I was spending at least 3 hours a day on personalization. I would say that's probably an underestimate. It felt more like 10, but let's just go with 3 for example's sake. After I decided this is not working, let me try this anti-personalization framework. I hooked up with a tool like MailScale. And after that, I started sending 1,000 plus emails a day. Right now I'm sending about 40,000 a month to be exact. My reply rates jumped to 23%. And instead of spending all my time on this personalization, I'm actually spending time on generating pipeline, $64,000 in the last 8 weeks to be exact. And that's all from cold email. And the best part is I'm not even getting flagged to spam. If you have proper infrastructure, You have warmed up domains. You have the correct DNS setup. You have multiple inboxes sending emails with limits set for how many they can send per day. I recommend 20, by the way. This is exactly what ensures you land in the inbox. Top performing teams should be achieving 90% plus easily with the right infrastructure setup. Cold email in 2026 is all about who can get their offer in front of the most relevant people the most often. You really have to stop thinking like a copywriter and start thinking like a media buyer or an advertiser. Every minute that you spend personalizing a cold email is a minute you could use to get your offer in front of 50 to 100 to 1,000 more people. Anti-personalization is strategic. It's the difference between handing out flyers and running a billboard on the busiest highway intersection in your state. One of them actually works. So you now have the cold email framework that works in 2026. But what I didn't cover today is how to set up your cold email infrastructure so that you can actually send this volume of emails without landing in spam. And like we said, this is the foundation. Without this, you don't have a chance. So click this video where I break down the full technical setup step by step. This video is going to show you everything you need so that your emails land in the primary inbox of the people that you want to reach. I'll see you there.